Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan, Sunday 28th of June. Hope you're having a nice day. Hope you are going to enjoy my video where I do explain the return of Major League Baseball. That's right, the return of baseball, Major League Baseball. And I tell you what, guys, heard about this, and as we all did, just a few short days ago after a couple of weeks of, well, they didn't agree on this, well, they didn't agree on that. And I'm sitting here like many people thinking, you know what, it's probably not going to happen. There's not going to be any baseball this year. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we get this, not only this announcement, but a pretty well planned, in my humble opinion, well thought out, well put together start of the Major League Baseball season and coming up here towards the end of July. Couldn't be more happy about this. Please don't forget to go ahead and hit the like button below if you do enjoy the content of this video. If you have yet to subscribe to Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan and would like to do so, hey, now's a great opportunity for you to do that as well. So let's get into the topic of today, and of course the return of Major League Baseball. Let me first start off by saying I'm going to get into some things here and some tweaks and rules and little changes and things that we've heard and maybe some things that we haven't quite heard, and spend the next few minutes going over these things. But I can't stress enough, between the time that this video is made and the actual start of the season, we're looking at about 3.5 weeks. So we want to keep that in mind. Certain rules, certain situations can be tweaked / changed over time, and even when the season starts, things can certainly change from that point as well, as we get ready to start the 2020 baseball season, which will be the shortest regular season since, get ready, 1878. That's right, you heard that right. So it's 1878. So let's get into it, guys. Season's going to run from July 23rd until September the 27th. That's going to be the regular season. It's about 67 or so days from what I counted, give or take one. 67 days in which each team will play 60, that's 60 games for the season. Right at 102 games shorter than the typical Major League Baseball season. If everything plays out the way it should and the World Series would happen to go 7 games, it will end at a very common time in the month of October, which would be October 28th, which is very typical. Of course, we could have a few rainouts, a few things to delay that, but everything is scheduled pretty much to end right when it normally would. It's going to be really interesting because now the playoff system has not changed. So they're still going to have the wild card, the one-game wild card, everyone else getting a bye, and then we go into the Division Series, and then the next round being the Championship Series of the American and National League, leading us to the World Series. None of that has changed. All of that stays in place, which I couldn't be, as a fan, I couldn't be happier about that. So there's plenty really to get excited for. If your team is one that really hasn't done much the last few years, not that I'm going to mention any teams, or if you're a fan of a team that hasn't done very well in recent memory, this is a great opportunity for your team to really hang in there pretty much well through into September easily. And we're going to be heading, no matter what happens, we're going to be heading into the month of August with everyone involved, everyone part of the pennant chase, if you will. There'll only be about 7 or so games played at the end part of July, heading into August, with about 53, 52, 53, 54 games left in the season. That's awesome. So we got to keep all that in mind. I mean, this is really going to be interesting. So it's going to, who knows, it may change some of the pitching strategy as far as top pitchers perhaps getting a few more starts than we would normally have expected. Will they still go every 5 days on average? I would imagine they would, but we might see a little 4 days every now and then, things like that with the short schedule. There are a couple of things to discuss, guys. Let's get into it. First and foremost, rain delays. Let's talk about that. Okay, so this is definitely with the 2020 season, the way things are set up. With rain delays, they're doing a good job with this. I like what they have in place. So as we know, it's a team must bat 5 times for the game to be official. So let's pretend a team is the visiting team. They're losing 4-2. They get up in the top of the 5th inning, 3 up, 3 down, no scoring at all done. They're still down 4-2. Giant rainstorm comes in, lasts a half hour, lasts an hour. They're waiting for rain delay. Looks like, nope, we're not going to be able to continue this game today. The game gets rained out, but technically does count because the team that was losing, in this case the visiting team, did get 5 at-bats. It is an official game. Just like if a team were home, losing 4-2, the only difference is they must bat in the bottom of the 5th for the game to be official. They bat, they go through, in other words, 15 outs, right? 3 outs each inning. Let's pretend they do bat in the bottom of the 5th, down 4-2. Boom, top of the 6th start, and here come the rain. Here comes all the rains and the big storm that comes in out of nowhere. That game would be official. But what they're going to do now, here's the change. In the past, if there was, prior to the 5 at-bats, okay, 2nd inning, 3rd inning, let's say it's 2-1 in the 3rd inning, all of a sudden a giant rainstorm comes in, they just call the game and they start from scratch the next day from the beginning. Not so now. They will postpone or delay the game until, in most cases, the next day, and they will pick up from that point because they have to move kind of quickly. They can't have all these different postponements and delays. They have to fit in 60 games in about 67 days, guys. Plus, of course, they don't want to have long rain delays where you're just having more hanging out at the stadium and all that stuff. It's encouraging more people to be together, in short. So that will be interesting. Also, let's say it's 7th inning. Let's use that same score, 4-2. They're going to use their best judgment, but they're not, long story short, they're not going to have long delays. So they're going to use their best judgment. Let's say it's 15, 20, 25 minutes. Who knows? Maybe they wait a little bit longer. Boom, the game's called. That's it. The team that was up 4-2 will win, assuming that the 5 innings or the 5 at-bats have been completed by the losing team. So I hope I explained that for you. It's the same. I hope I did a good job there because it is the same, but big difference is they're going to be avoiding the long delays at all costs and picking up delayed games that all of a sudden were delayed early on and pick those up either the next day or the next time the teams play. Designated hitter. Let's have some fun with this. Since 1973, since April of 73, the American League has had a designated hitter. The National League has not, guys. As you know, that's what's made, in kind of a cool way, the two leagues different. National League, no DH. American League does have a DH. There's been that discussion, the talk, in a sense, the disagreement. Well, they both should have it or they both shouldn't have it and things of that nature. Well, you can look at it from either side. Okay, it is the thing, the way we've had it set up since 1973 does make the American and National League, it kind of makes them unique onto one another, you know what I mean? Like, it makes them unique, but at the same time, it would be kind of cool to have a designated hitter, many fans believe, and so do I, in the National League. So that will be the case for the 2020 60-game season, is that the National League will have a designated hitter. This is not the plan for the next season, 2021, as far as I understand it. Okay, so that'll be cool. There'll be a designated hitter. They don't want the pitchers to be hitting and pitching and all this stuff with the way everything is now. So that will be pretty cool. A big thumbs up. I like it. I like it. As far as fans, no fans planned as of yet in the stands, but check this out. What you're going to see in the stands are players and other team personnel. So, and you're going to see them, of course, with distancing and spaced out. You might see the backup catcher in the stands, and then 10 feet away could be one of the team doctors. So that will be interesting. Absolutely, that will be interesting. The reserves, the rest of the team and team personnel will be in the stands. And executives, for all we know, could be very well be spread out in the stands. Now, teams can be relocated. That can happen at any given time based on the situation. So if a team is playing in one city, let's say we're halfway through the 60 games, we're heading towards the end of August now, the league believes it's better for them to relocate somewhere, who knows, 700-800 miles away even, or more, or 1,500 miles away. They will do that. Okay, so that the league can do that. There's no plan in place as far as I'm aware to do that, but the league certainly can do that if they feel that the situation calls for it. Spring training, which technically starts, all players have to report on July 1st, so we'll have about a 3-week period where the teams are training and getting ready for the season. That will not be done like it's always done in Florida and Arizona. That will take place in or directly around the city of that team. Okay? So they're just staying in their regular location, getting ready for the season, the first 3 weeks of July. And then, of course, July 23rd, it kicks off. I'm hearing Yankees Nationals to kick the season off. Not sure if that'll be an abbreviated schedule. July 23rd is a Thursday. The Friday, the very next day, the 24th of July, everyone's playing, full schedule. It is on, guys. It's on. As far as we're going to hear the whole 400 hitter thing, I hate to dampen the excitement, but no, I mean, come on. It's only a 60-game season. I have to say, I mean, well, let's see how that plays out. If someone is hitting 400, yeah, there'll be an asterisk. Absolutely, if someone doesn't. I don't mean to take credit away if someone hits 400, but I mean, come on. It's almost not quite a third of the season, but if it were any shorter, it would be a third of the season, pretty much. So we got to keep all this in mind. As far as the excitement, I think it's going to be really good because your team, depending on who that team is, doesn't really matter at this point. Your team's going to be in the race for a while, guys. So remember, it's only 60 games, regular setup for the postseason. I think this is going to be really cool as far as, well, there's not going to be fans in the stands, and there's not going to... For me, this is just my humble opinion as a sports fan. I really don't care about that right now. I'm just happy that we're going to have baseball back where I can watch Major League Baseball on my television. I can come home from work on a Wednesday night and get lost in a Major League Baseball game for a couple hours. No complaints there at all. Or on a Sunday afternoon, just get lost in a game, and maybe my team's in the race here. We're in the pennant race, and we're in the second week or third week of August, and, you know, we're 500 or something. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. One rule that took place that I'm not a fan of. Okay, this was going to happen anyway, and I'm not a big fan of it. It's all, the way I see it anyway, in the spirit of trying to shorten the game, trying to make it maybe a little bit quicker, which at this point, guys, I think certain steps have been taken, and I'm going to get into the rule in a second. I think certain steps have already been taken. I think those that don't watch baseball because they think it's too long are kind of going to weed themselves out anyway. I mean, I don't see that as the I'm on the fence watching baseball crowd. I think that's the crowd that's not going to watch baseball anyway. I mean, if we cut the game by 5 or 10 minutes. Let me get into the rule change that's going to be in effect for this season. I'm not a fan of it, though. It's the 3-batter or end-of-inning minimum for a relief pitcher. Here's how that works. So if a relief pitcher comes in, they must face at least 3 batters or finish the inning. So if they come in 2 outs, guy in second and third, they get the out. Okay, that's it. There's now 3 outs. That could be the only batter that they face. Pitcher comes in to start the 7th inning, no one on base, gets 2 outs. now he has to face the third batter. Or let's say top of the seventh, two guys get on. Now it's first and second, no one. He's got to face that third batter unless there's some injury or some event takes place that is completely out of the ordinary. Here's why I don't like that rule, because each team has a roster. That's part of baseball. Each team has a roster. They are not only historically, but they're responsible for using that roster however they want. As we know, pitchers can't re-enter. So once you use a pitcher, you can't put that same guy back in 2 innings later. I think it takes a little bit away from the strategy of righty-righty, certain guy coming in to face this guy, and that might be the only batter he faces. I like that and still do like that as part of the strategy. I'm not a fan of this. Yes, it could make a game a little bit longer if we're using multiple relievers in a particular inning, but I mean, come on. It's not going to make that much of a difference. I don't think it will. And I don't think you're going to save that many fans, guys, or obtain that many fans, because now a relief pitcher has to either finish an inning or face a 3-batter minimum. So that is a little bit of a, shall we say, thumbs down, in my opinion. Pretty much everything else is looking really good, everyone. Looking really good. One rule that's in place just for the 2020 season, if it goes extra innings, they're going to start the next inning, or let's say now we go top of the 10th, with a guy on second base. The person who made the third out of the last inning will start at second to help speed it up. They're only going to do that for 2020, and I understand they will not do that for the postseason. Okay, if they want to speed it up, move the game. They're trying to avoid, 4 or 5 hour marathon games. Let's play the games, get them in, and move on from there. So for 2020, of course, I do understand it. I'm not a fan of that, though. In the future, of course, no, I wouldn't be for that at all. But for this year, yeah, I could see that. I can definitely see that. So Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets, and if they have to use that rule in 2021 for the same reasons, so be it. But long term, I'm definitely not a fan of that. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets, saying so long for now. Please go ahead, leave some comments below. Leave some comments below. If you're a baseball fan out there, you can't wait to get started with the season. I know I can't. We got about 3.5 weeks to go. Again, please keep in mind some of these updates and tweaks or rule changes that I provided can, of course, be tweaked even more or changed in one way, shape, or form either before the 23rd or after the 23rd as things change along the way. So I hope this did help you. I appreciate you watching today's video, and I'll see you, yes, you, next time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.